Hey guys, look, it's still snowing outside my window. Today we're going to start a new book. I have a book for us called The Dog That Dug for Dinosaurs. Okay, but before we can do that, let's talk about what we're going to do today. We are going to answer questions about key details again in the text, The Dog That Dug for Dinosaurs. And then we're going to write a supporting detail about the tools that paleontologists use to discover fossils. And we're going to start learning about all the different tools that paleontologists in real life use and how they get those fossils when they discover them and how they get them out. So I'm going to show you all the parts of today's lesson. But first, our next curiosity for our museum. Take a look at this fossil. Can you tell what it is? Look closely. What do you notice? What does it look like? This is a fossilized tree fern. So if you look closely at it, you can see these are kind of the leaves of the fern. So this is a plant. Plants can become fossils too. Pretty cool. Okay, so before I can start reading this new book to you, remember you're going to be answering multiple choice questions today, just a couple about it. And when you do that, I want you to read the question carefully and try a strategy. Maybe you'll cover the answer choices and try to think of the answer yourself before you look and see what the choices are. You should always read through each answer choice and think about what happened in the text. And then cross out any answer choices you know can't be it, mark them out. You want to use details from the text to choose the best answer. And normally I would say circle the whole answer, but today you're on a Google form, so you're just going to answer it and submit. And you only get one chance today on this Google form, so you can't go back later and change your answers. So you have to make sure you've listened to the story and you are able to answer those questions. Okay, let's jump right in. The Dog That Dug for Dinosaurs. A long time ago, there was a little dog named Trey. He was black and white all over. He had friendly brown eyes and a very wiggly tail. Trey lived in England. Trey was a real dog, and this is an honestly true story about him. Trey loved two things most in the whole world. First, he loved Mary Ann Anning. She was 12 years old and lived with her family in a small cottage near the beach in Lyme Regis. Secondly, Trey loved going with Mary Ann to dig for fossils. Hey, I know this dog. That's Mary Ann's dog. That's Mary Ann Anning's dog. His name's Trey. And this is a story like we just read. This is a similar story. It really happened of Mary Anning. So what are fossils anyway? They are the remains of animals and plants that died a long time ago. This looks kind of like that fossilized tree fern we just looked at. When a leaf or bone gets pressed between layers of sea mud, it leaves an imprint. After many, many years, the mud hardens to rock. Trey and Mary Ann knew that they would find the very best fossils high up on the cliffs around the beach. They climbed up there every day. Trey sniffed the rocks. Sniff, sniff. He pawed the dirt. Scratch, scratch. Mary Ann used a small hammer and a chisel. Tap, tap, tap. Trey and Mary Ann knew that they would find the very best fossils high up on the cliffs around the beach. They climbed up there every day. Trey sniffed the rocks. Sniff, sniff. He pawed the dirt. Scratch, scratch. Mary Ann used a small hammer and a chisel. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, so first you're going to go over to your Google form that I've linked in this lesson, and you're going to answer your 2 multiple choice questions about this text. Then you're going to go over to our Jamboard that's called Tools Paleontologists Use. And you're going to make me a sticky note to tell me, how do paleontologists use a pickaxe, which is a small hammer, and a chisel? Now, it tells us here that Mary Ann used the small hammer and the chisel, and she's using that to get the fossil out. So what you're going to do is you're going to go over here and we're going to make ourselves a note. This is the Jamboard. This is page 1, Tools Paleontologists Use. And in this Jamboard here, you can see this right here. This is her pickaxe, or this here too. I think she's got a couple of them. And this is her chisel. So if you can imagine that she is hammering away at the rock, and then she's using the chisel to get the fossil loose. So come over here you're going to turn the Jamboard page to page 2. And I've got you graphics right here of a pickaxe and a chisel. A pickaxe and a chisel. A paleontologist uses these two, and they use these two things to get the fossil out of that larger rock. So I want you to jump on over here on the Jamboard and make me a sticky note of a paleontologist and tell me how they use that pickaxe and chisel. Tell me how you think Mary Ann used it. Tell me how you would use it. Or even if you have a picture of someone using it, you could put that in there too. All right? And that is the end of today's lesson. I will see you back tomorrow.